Hi everyone, welcome back to the course again. I hope you all are enjoying the course, and today we are continuing with our next topic that is called as modal verbs. Okay, so basically, before this video, we have seen some kind of verbs. What are those? Regular verbs and irregular verbs. Okay, so regelmäßig verb and unregelmäßig verben. We have seen that already. Now there are some other sort of verbs which are called as modal verbs. Okay, so when we talk about the modal verbs, these are the verbs that are used to describe our wish, desire, intent. So only these verbs are called as modal verbs. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 modal verbs. Now there is also one more verb I can write down here. Okay, so basically that is like the another form of this. So that is called as Mugen. Okay, Mugen. Mugen, and then conjugation will be mark, marked, and then here it will be mark. With wir it will be Mugen. With ihr it will be mjort. And with sie it will be Mugen. Okay. So basically, we can say that we have total 7 modal verbs, and only these verbs are called as modal verbs. Now let's understand why they're called as modal verbs, what is different about them. So when we talk about this verb, it is not müssen, it's müssen. Okay, what is müssen? Müssen means have to. Okay, for example, I have to go to party. So have to is müssen. What is können? Können means can. What is dürfen? Dürfen means allowed to. Okay, so if I want to say I am allowed to party, so that allowed to is dürfen, allowed to. Okay, what is wollen? Wollen means want. What is sollen? Sollen means should. Okay, what is möchten? Möchten means would like. And what is mögen? Mögen means just like. Okay, so for example, I like a pizza. Ich mag eine Pizza. But if you want to say I would like to eat pizza, then would like is möchten. Okay, so these 7 verbs are called as modal verbs. Now, when we talk about the modal verbs, if you see their conjugation, okay, so if you see their conjugation, guys, here in this table, now normally when we talk about the conjugations, we have seen the formulas before, Verbstamm plus e, Verbstamm plus st, and everything. So those formula will also be same here, apart from ish, erezi, and do. So these are 3 things that we have to remember. These are 3 conjugations that are different for modal verbs. Apart from that, the rule is same. Like the Verbstamm plus en with wir, Verbstamm plus t with ihr, and then with sie it's müssen, like the Verbstamm plus en, right? So only with ish, do, and erezi, the conjugation is different. Now how it is different? So also, if when we have seen the previous verbs like the regular and irregular verbs, the conjugation for erezi was Verbstamm plus t, and for ish it was Verbstamm plus e. Correct? But when we talk about the modal verbs, these are special verbs, and for these verbs, whatever conjugation you have for ish, whatever conjugation you have for ish, the same conjugation you have to put with erezi. So if you look here, what I have done is with ish, the conjugation is muss. There is no ending, nothing, no ending as e or nothing. So this complete row, you have to remember it. Okay. This complete row, you have to remember. Why? Because this complete row is something that is not based on any formula. So if you remember this muss, same to same, you have to put that muss with erezi. Same to same. Okay, and with do, what we will do is, with do, whatever the form of ish is there, we will put extra st with it. So if you see here, okay, so if you see here, in this case, what is happening? Whatever the form is there with ish, I have put here with do, same to same, with an additional st. Now since already double s was present there, so that's why I have not added one more s, but I have just added t. Okay, and with wear, ear, and z, these are the normal conjugations that we have seen before as well. So with now, next is about Kyonan, which is can. So again, this thing you have to remember. Only first row you have to remember. Whatever it is with ish, you have to put similar with erezi. And with do, what we will do is whatever is there with ish, we will put an extra st with it. Okay, so that's why I've done here, here also, here, here, and here. Okay, only Mioshtan verb is there, which is a kind of following the same pattern as regular and irregular verbs. Okay, so you have to remember only the first row, everything else is easy and you can sort out that easily. Okay, now let's move on and see the examples for them, how to use them. Okay, so there is one more thing which is special about modal verbs. What is that? That I'll give you an example maybe and it will be more clear. Okay, so the example is, let's say, let me erase everything so that it will be more clear. Yeah, so the example maybe, let's say, I want to eat pizza. I want to eat a pizza. This is an example. Okay, so now if you see here in this example, what is want? Want is nothing but a modal verb, correct? What is a modal verb? This one, wollen. Wollen means want and it's a modal verb. Now, what is to eat? To eat is the another verb and I can call it as a main verb. Okay? Main verb, or in German we call it as a Hauptverb. Okay? Hauptverb. And pizza is nothing but an object. Correct? So, if you see in this sentence, there are two verbs. One is modal verb and one is main verb, right? Now, what is different about modal verbs is that I will write I, which is ish. What is want? With ish, we will put will, right? Ish will. Ish will. What is to eat? To eat is essen. And pizza is pizza. Correct? So if you see this example according to translation is correct. But basically, according to grammar, it's wrong. Why? Because whenever we talk about the modal verbs, whatever the main verb we have, it always goes in the end of the sentence. Okay? So the right answer will be ish, will, pizza, essen. Okay? This is the right answer. So the one that we have written before, ish, will, essen, pizza, this was completely wrong. Why? Because our main verb should always go in the last. So I can maybe make it like this. It's wrong. And this one is our right answer. Okay. So I can write here the rule. The rule for modal verbs are that the conjugation forms of ish and erezi is similar. Okay. This is a rule which is different from the others, correct? Now, second rule is that the main verb will always go in the last. Okay, in infinitive form. Also, this is important to know what is infinitive. I will explain infinitive form. So now, guys, if you see here in the sentence that we have written ish will pizza essen, what with ish we do verb stem plus e, right? So should I write esse or should I write essen? Because infinitive form means the original form of the verb. Okay, infinitive form of the verb means original form of the verb, which is like with en ending. Okay, the original form of the verb. So that means whenever we use a modal verb, the main verb will always go in the last of the sentence in its original form without any conjugation with en. Okay, now let's see more examples. So if I say she can cook, she can cook food, she can cook the food. In that sentence, what is she? She is the subject. What is can? What is can? Can is a modal verb. What is cook? Cook is the Hauptverb, main verb, and the food is a accusative object. Okay, that means our main verb, which is to cook, will go in the last of the sentence. So it will be sie kann. With sie, we put kann here, right? So if you see here, with sie, we put kann. So I've put here kann, sie kann, she can. Okay, food is das Essen, and kochen. Kochen means to cook. So if you see here, I have put the verb at the last and I have conjugated only my modal verb according to my subject. But the main verb or the Hauptverb will go in the last of the sentence in its original form. Okay, I'll give one more example. He is allowed to go to house, or maybe he's allowed to go to friend. Okay, so in this sentence, what is he is the subject. Is allowed to, this is allowed to together is dürfen. Okay, so dürfen means like is are allowed to basically. Okay, so dürfen means is are allowed to. So here we have is allowed to, which is dürfen, and go is the main verb, and to friend is basically, friend is accusative object and to is a preposition, right? So let's make the sentence. Now with he, what should we use here? Darf, right? So I will use darf. Okay. To is zu dem Freund, because su is the dative preposition. Okay. Su is the dative preposition. That is why the friend will become dative object. Because of su, the friend will become dative object, and friend is, if it's a male friend, then it's dem, because dative masculine is dem, correct? So it's su dem Freund, and what is to go? Gehen. Okay, so darf zu dem Freund gehen. Is that clear to everybody? There is another form, zu and dem combines together to form zum. So you can also say darf zum Freund gehen, or darf zu dem Freund gehen. Okay. So again, just a summary that modal verbs are these 7 verbs. Those are called as modal verbs. And when we talk about the modal verbs, it is little different from the regular verbs. Why? Because in this, the conjugation of ish and eresdi is exactly same. And the second rule is, whatever the main verb we have, we always put that verb in the end of the sentence in infinitive, in the original form, and we conjugate only the modal verb according to our subject. Okay. So that is all about this video and about this topic. We will see each other in the next one. Till then, bye.